But the funny part about what's happening within the sexuality side of it is our local school board knowingly covered up a assault and rape in the bathroom to push a social agenda for transgender and whatever you want to identify as ability to go into a bathroom. And it just shows that we have adults who are pushing this indoctrination and agendas down on our students and are willing to do whatever it takes to try to pass it.
A popular Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young song with a meaningful lyric from Graham Nash goes like this: teach your children well and feed them on your dreams. Well, we all dream about the future of our children and grandchildren, hoping and praying for the best for them. Now, in some parts of the country, that dream is turning into a nightmare as our children are taught all sorts of, well, let's just call it what it is, nonsense. Perhaps some things they might learn as grown-ups in a fast-moving, progressive world, but far different from what was formerly taught in previous years. So we begin tonight with a father from Virginia who has become a sort of national figure because he has decided to push back on that teaching. Enough is enough for him and for many others. We are joined by Brandon Michon. Welcome to Centerpoint.
Thanks, Doug.
Let's start with, before we start the questioning, this short video from a Capitol Hill hearing yesterday. Listen up to this.
What do you say a woman is?
I believe that everyone can identify for themselves.
Okay. Do you believe then that men can become pregnant and have abortions?
Yes.
Brandon Michon, we referred to that as nonsense. I prefer to use a different word, but I can't use it on this particular network. You're running for Congress over comments like that, aren't you?
Biologically, from a sex standpoint, we are XX and XY. There is no changing it. Men cannot get pregnant. You can identify as whatever you want, but it doesn't change your biology. And it's kind of funny that we're pushing this down, especially on our youth, with the indoctrination of this as a common household thing that we should be accepting.
Right. So you're running for Congress in Virginia's 10th congressional district. For the vast majority of our viewers who do not live there, let me just reference that. It's the suburbs, the western suburbs of the Washington, D.C. area, out into the Shenandoah Valley. But more specifically, it is the epicenter of the fight over this kind of stuff. Loudoun County, Virginia, which we saw this fight over the summer and spring over critical race theory, transgenderism in schools, and mask wearing and school closures during the COVID lockdown. You're opposed to all that stuff, correct?
That's right. Yeah, I went viral in January of 2021 for speaking up about opening schools. And it started as a call for accountability to our elected officials to be leaders. And if they didn't want to, that they could step aside and let others step into that. And so I put my name in the ring here as a parent who's continued to speak up to our school board. It was opening schools, and it was targeting parents, and then it was assaults and rapes within bathrooms and covering that up for a controversial transgender policy. And then it was defying an executive order on masks. But the funny part about what's happening within the sexuality side of it is our local school board knowingly covered up a assault and rape in the bathroom to push a social agenda for transgender and whatever you want to identify as ability to go into a bathroom. And it just shows that we have adults who are pushing this indoctrination and agendas down on our students and are willing to do whatever it takes to try to pass it.
That's assault that you're referring to. Most of us did not know about until the father of the alleged victim showed up at a school board meeting in Loudoun County, Virginia, and got into a scuffle with police. It was part and parcel of the FBI and the Department of Justice's crackdown on domestic terrorism threats there. What has become of that particular father, right? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, they're in court right now for what happened. So I don't have all the details, but he's been very vocal that this happened to his daughter and it was covered up. But at the same time, he was put on national media as this father who was a domestic terrorist. And you had the DOJ, special interest groups, and teachers unions who were working against parents at a time when we needed them focusing on the children. What scares me the most over the last few years is that adults have hid behind children and used them as their shields when it's supposed to be the other way around. They are the most innocent and easily influenced part of the population, yet due to social agendas or fear of adults because of COVID, we use them as scapegoats for reasons or for our fears and the ability to try to push agendas. And they used parents in Loudoun County, and it resonated throughout the United States. And I heard it from thousands of people who said, thank you for being a voice, thank you for standing up for children, and thank you for just having some sanity in this world that's kind of fallen off, the pendulum and has gone from one side all the way to the other.
Well, we're going to find out this coming Saturday. That's primary day, the Republican primary day in Virginia's 10th Congressional District, how that is resonating with parents. You've got a tall order, though. You've got, 10 other opponents, and it's a firehouse primary. Explain how that works.
That works. Yeah. So we have 10 other great people in this race. We have a ranked choice voting system. There's limited polling locations, so there's a little bit of political gamesmanship within the process. But we believe that we have a message that resonates with the people. We are running on education, safety, the economy. I call it the foundation of America. It is things that impact everyone. Regardless of who you vote for, there is no Democrat discount card at the gas pump or at the grocery store. This impacts everyone.
Your opponent, if you make it through the primary as a victor, is Jennifer Wexton. She is a two-time victor in the 10th Congressional District. She has the advantage of incumbency. How do you approach that?
Well, the great thing about where the position of strength that we have is we are going in against what I call a head in the sand down ballot voter for Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. Jennifer Wexton has completely been nowhere to be found within Loudoun County, where she lives. Schools have been a #1 topic for the last year and a half, and she has never spoken up. What we are going to highlight is that she has not defended our children's education, their safety, or anything that's right within the education system. She has not defended our law enforcement. She has fought against, the border. She has voted against everything internationally. And within the economy, she's on the Appropriations Committee. She has not done anything to help the spending. Our economy is not overheated. It is underperforming because of failed policies, and she is directly responsible for that because she's continued to vote for pork-filled bills that continue to cause rapid inflation.
Your state, Virginia, was a bellwether for these types of issues with the election of Governor Glenn Youngkin. Do you expect your own race to be a similar bellwether for the rest of the country?
I think so. I think what we are seeing is parents, citizens, and taxpayers all throughout the country who are saying they're fed up. It started for me as a parents movement. It's moved to a citizens and taxpayers movement. I think Governor Youngkin, who I campaigned with a lot last year on education, was a perfect example that we can have a voice. We don't have to follow the herd all the time. We can say, enough is enough. We want to see this country get better. And again, we are focused on the foundation of America. Education, safety, the economy, things that impact everyone. We're not going to be able to solve every issue in a short period of time. I'm not asking people to marry me for the next 30 years. This is a 2-year assignment where you hope to be able to get elected for a few more years. I'm not a career politician. I just want to do what's right for America and hopefully, start with the economy and fix some of the schools and fix some of our public safety and borders. And then I'm going to go back eventually to the private sector and, enjoy my time with my 4 young children.
Brandon Michon, thanks very much for your time. Primary day in Virginia's 10th Congressional District is this Saturday.